The only reason people pull out their credit card and buy something is to solve a problem. I was just talking to a group of high schoolers the other day. I said, what's your one piece of advice for growing a business? And I said, look around and see what people are frustrated by. And then figure out if you can sell them something that solves it. If you knock on somebody's door because you're going to go pick up your buddy, and the dog barks at the door as soon as you knock on it, and it's very clear that the dad is extremely frustrated, you can charge him money to stop that dog from barking.
I liked at the BizX conference, you said this phrase, the rest is all fluff. So is that to do with that then as well? So find the problem, solve the problem, and then charge the maximum price for it.
Well, I wouldn't charge them maximum price. I would charge them the right price so that they do get an incredible value, that they feel like they got a deal. There's a guy that I talked to yesterday who charges $350,000 for coaching. Right. He talks to you for 1 hour a month.
$350,000 a year?
A year. He talks to you for 12 hours a year, 1 hour a month.
Right.
And I said, okay, why? Well, how are you getting $350,000? He said, it's not the hour. It's that if you want to sell your company, I'm going to introduce you to the person that you're going to sell it to. If you need a chief marketing officer, I'm going to find them for you. It's the bigness of the problem that yeah, his name is Dan Martell. He wrote a book called Buy Back Your Time. And he's
bought his time back, hasn't he?
He has.
$350,000.
And he has no problem getting clients at that price, because if you want to sell your company, first of all, he's not going to work with you unless he can get you.
Michael Goldsmith does a similar framework to that.
Is that right?
Yeah. So he trained me in the UK. We brought him over to our organization in the UK, Action Coach, and basically trained us all as to what he does. And he goes in and he finds out what the outcome of you want to achieve is, whether you want to take your business from 3 billion to 5 billion.
Yeah.
And then he says 18 months. This is my price. And the price is more than $350,000.
Oh, yeah.
This is my price.
And my guess is he's worth every penny.
Yeah, and it's 30 minutes a month. So it's 30 minutes a month.
I think there's a lot of value in a personal brand if you can be known for the guy who helps you X, right? The guy who helps you sell your business. If you're that guy, the guy the guy who's known for increasing your profit margin by 10%. The guy who's known by lessening your tax exposure by 25%. These are very valuable problems to solve. The sentence you want to finish is, if you're frustrated about X, you should call Y, and Y is us. And if you can finish that sentence, even if you can finish that sentence, my guess is you're making pretty good money. If your customers can finish that sentence, you're making even better money. If the public can finish that sentence, you're making hundreds of millions of dollars.
That's really nice stepping stone, isn't it? So
if you can finish it,
you finish it first.
You got a great business idea. If the people who actually work with you can fill in those blanks, you've achieved something really successful in communicating to your clientele. If the public who aren't doing business with you,
then you got reputation.
Then you got a reputation, and you own what I call mental real estate. Mental real estate is the real estate that we own in other people's brains. Now, the great thing is, let's say, and I don't recommend this, but let's say you have an inferior product to your competition. They have a much better product than you. You can actually beat them in the market if you can win the messaging war. In other words, if you can get that mental real estate and own that problem, you're going to beat. And what's even more sad about that fact is that there's many people listening who have the superior product and they're getting beat by an inferior product because they own the mental real estate and you don't. In other words, the best product doesn't win. The person who owns the problem wins. When we think of marketing, we think of brand colors, brand identity, style guides, what our brand feels like, the way our customer feels when they interact with our brand. I don't think any of that is very important. I do think it's important. I don't think it's very important. For instance, Amazon.com is a behemoth, and they have an ugly website and terrible brand colors. they make slightly more money than God. Am I right?
Yeah, you're pretty much right.
I mean, every time I'm in a room and I say, who bought something from Amazon within the last 2 weeks? Every single hand goes up. That's a phenomenal success, right? But what they own is ease of purchase on the widest variety of products imaginable. So if I need something, I can either get in my car and drive to the store and see if they have it, or I can click a button. So they own a problem in the sense that I know exactly where to get it, and I've been programmed on how to do it. I've been taught how to do it. So let's not pretend that style guys and all this. What's actually important is that you have, for lack of a better word or phrase, you have trained customers that when they experience X frustration, they buy your product. So if you can train customers that if I have a headache or a toothache, I buy X, you're going to sell a lot of whatever medicine that is. On and on and on. If I'm trying to cut sodium intake and you have something with no sodium that tastes like salt, I'm gonna. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If you've got you own a problem. So the key to marketing is not brand and style guide. It's an exercise in memorization. And so what I'm trying to do in my marketing is get customers to memorize something. And specifically what I want them to memorize is if you are struggling with this, you should buy this. That's it. And if you can actually do that and remember that's our agenda. And how do you get somebody to memorize something? Repeat. That's it.
Repeat.
That's it. Now, we got called by a guy named Jeb Bush who was running for president. We got called by not his team, but a friend of his team who said, will you please go see him? And they entertained the meeting. So we went and met with him. Jeb, very, very intelligent man, wrote a book on immigration, wrote a book on education. Now, when's the last time you memorized a book?
Probably when you revise for your exams at school. You try and memorize.
I've never memorized a book. I mean, he got beat by a guy who is street smart and very intuitively intelligent in the jujitsu of bringing attention to himself and winning shallow arguments. His immigration platform was build a wall, 3 words, easy to memorize. And his overall vision for the country was make America great again. Now, I'm just telling you, that is not the best person to lead this country. But he won. Because what he did was he took the public through an exercise in memorization where the person who maybe should have been president, I don't know, but wrote a book. So he made it complicated and he made it simple. And who won? Simple.
Because it's memorable.
Because when people went to the polls, they knew what they were voting for. I'm voting for a wall and a great country. And with Jeb Bush, I didn't read it.
Donald Miller, world #1 in marketing and branding through telling stories. Attract and convert leads and make your business the obvious choice for customers. Learn the crucial steps of crafting compelling CTAs, calls to action, that can transform your business. This episode is sponsored by Story22. Book a free strategy call at story22.co.uk and get a compelling message that will win the business you deserve. Smash that follow button and keep up to date with the BizX podcast. Let's do this.